just about time now. Literally. Strictly speaking, we are at this time around 8 days. 3 hours, 0 minutes and 21 seconds from the end, which is really sad. Obviously, no one liked chapter 3. I didn't, Ninja didn't. It's put a lot of us off. We can't even deny it. The good thing is, we can take away from chapter 3 is the fact we did 8 World Cups despite all the trouble in the chapter. As it stands, you know, it's barely going to be a year since the last World Cup. Sorry, the end of chapter 2 was not even a year ago, so basically we're 8 days away from already being on a new chapter. Questions asked why it will be, not the person to ask about that. I'm pretty much sure it's just because no one's interested anymore. Chapter 4 should hopefully bring a bit of hope and players come back. But I think we need to look back from World Cup 3 through all the details to World Cup 11, where it all finished off for this chapter. So let's start off with World Cup 2. As we are preparing for World Cup 3, there is a chapter that is among us. Well, a new one and an old one coming to an end. And particularly we're quite sad at this point. No, we're just about ready to say goodbye to chapter 2, and that's obviously where most of us began our journey. When the World Cups began, and you know, we said goodbye to the old map. We had to get used to the new chapter. And once we settled in, we did World Cup 3. That was a good tournament. That was a blooming good tournament. Despite the fact, once again, there was a few hiccups, like argument between players and over results. It was me versus Krusty in the final, which should be one of my many finals during this time. Oops. Okay, quick note, do not land at Rocket Wheels. The problem was really that the second me and Krusty played, you know, it was Krusty's second World Cup final. I'd let him go to the second one when it probably should have been me in theory. To be fair, he gave me a game. I think the end score was 19 to 18. I just remember in the last second I had to slide into the ball and just boot it clear. Like, it was probably one of the greatest saves I've ever made. So that was a really good World Cup, and I just lived with it. And then Seke came along. You know, that was something to remember. And then along came 2020, and there was a lot of stuff and a lot of controversy about Creative Master. Obviously, we all know what happened to that. Along came World Cup 4. That was the sad one, really sad one. We did, you know, a really good World Cup that just unfortunately was probably ruined by the Creative Master incident. New beginnings began. But this is the World Cup I call the Creative Master World Cup. Well, we had 3, I believe, new World Cup players from there. Ashley Young was one of them. Matt Lache was one of them. I believe he had one more, I can never remember the name of. Matt Lache has not played in a single World Cup since, and probably has not been on. But we are hoping that one day he might come back. But in World Cup 4, that was a good World Cup, very good. The final was between Alex Sade and Barman originally, but Ashley Young got that place as Barman was not there for the final. Like, what can you do? You know, hey, Ashley Young won on penalties, played really well. And then we go off for a little bit, and then it's World Cup 5. This was a very interesting World Cup. I thought very highly of. and I thought was very interesting. We got to the final, and this time Batman played Ninja. Ninja had already won a World Cup. Batman had never, and because of the tightness of the game, it got a little bit hasty towards the end, and there was controversiality alerts, and Ninja raged, and Batman was not happy, and it, you know, me and Alex, they were just standing there a bit clueless, but Ninja got the trophy in the end, because he deservedly won. Some would say maybe Batman deserved to win that game, but listen, you've got to make some tough choices during the World Cups, and we made a tough one there. World Cup 6. Don't quote me on this, I can't remember which way round it is. I believe World Cup 6 was me in a victory. Don't quote me again on this. I believe this one was Nightmare, Wolves and Token to rival for World Cup 6. That's where it got very interesting. They were very new and up and coming players, and I played 4 of them in the final and still won 3-1. World Cup 7 I won again. Don't ask who it was in the final. I don't actually know. I'm gonna guess it was probably Batman or something, or somebody like that, because it obviously wasn't important. So I beat Batman in the final, so that's me on 3 World Cup trophies. That's pretty good. So that's pretty good. That's pretty well going. And then World Cup 8. That's where it got interesting. So it was Batman versus Token and Raya. That was an interesting game indeed, and it ended up being Batman's night on penalties. Ryan quite unfortunately lost that on penalties. Really good game though, and that was probably one of my favourite memories of Batman finally winning the World Cup. World Cup 9. That was an interesting final between Batman and Alex and Renny Vam, Ryan and Alexei versus Batman and I think Ruler. I think Renny Vam played on both halves. Obviously Alexei and Ryan obviously won on penalties. Again, it goes to penalties. Quite a common theme. World Cup X was me and Batman versus Laz. Not Tenias, to next to or something. And Cool Bernard. And I think we won something like 6-3. So then add up the trophies. We'll do that at the end. And then came along World Cup XI, and that was just incredible. It felt good to be back. I thought some of the matches were really good. And DC obviously. Absolutely incredible. What a World Cup he had. 4-0 win over Batman, a 5-1 win over Alexei. Incredible, he took me all the way in the final, but I ended up beating him narrowly 6-5 off the extra time. Obviously, I think in the end I deservedly won after like chalking 2 of my goals off for no reason. But anyway, he took me all the way. He had loads of chances in the game. I mean, at times he looked really defensively solid, but you know, I think a little bit more lucky with our ways, and that could have gone different ways. But fair play to me at the top World Cup. I'm at the end of the 11 World Cups in just over a year. Here are all the tallies of trophies. So I've got 5, Alexei and Ninja have 2, Batman has 2. Ashley Young has 1, surprisingly. Vanny Vam has 1, Ryan has 1, and I think that's everybody. I think that is literally everyone. So obviously it's a humongous time when you've had 8 World Cups in a year. So number 3 was December, 4 February, I think 5, 6 and 7 sort of bounced off each other between April and May. 8 came in like June or something. 9 came during the summer, I believe. And obviously 10, that was about September. And obviously 11, went backwards then. 11 was in November. So that was pretty good. It's pretty good going. We've had a long period of, you know, controversy that we'll get into with war and everything. I think these players do deserve credit, and I think they've played incredibly well through the World Cup. Before we get into all the war and controversy, I just want to tally up all my goals and see how many I'm on now. So I was at 230 before World Cup 11, and I scored 2 in my first game, which is absolutely pathetic. 6 in my second. So let me get a calculator out. So what was it? 230 plus 6 plus 2 plus 6 again. 244 goals. 6 away from the probably getting 250 now. Pretty much, and that's pretty good. I've always wanted to hit 250. I mean, I'll get on to a little bit about the Chapter 4 World Cups, which, by the way, I'm really looking forward to. I'm hoping they're going to be better. I hope we get new players in. That's what we're hoping for, but we'll go on to that a little bit more in a while. Right now, we need to sort of focus on what were the highs and lows to take from the Chapter 3 World Cups, and I think with 8 days left, we have a lot to look at. I think that wasn't very good, but that needs improving. We did that well, but we didn't do that well. I think you can just say that all day. We made mistakes, but you know, we made good decisions. Some of the players we found were really, you know, they were just different players on and off the pitch. Obviously, we've got up and coming ones at DC and Villa on tour. They're looking promising for the future, but I feel like right now we just need a really good World Cup. I'm not talking like a dodgy one, like I'm not talking like a normal one. I'm talking like, let's get creative. I want all the old players that were in there to be there. I don't see it happening. They're all top players. They all are. It's probably not the best time. Sort of now, you know, we're coming up to a new chapter. We're not knowing what to expect. But it is good. It is also a good thing. I feel like new chapter, new beginning. It could just all feel different again. I just feel like we need a really good player. We just need a player that is good. And we just need an interesting World Cup where we just don't know who's going to win. I don't really know where we go from here. It could be an absolute disaster, but it might not be. You know, we don't know what's going to happen in Chapter 4, and I think we were quite confident going into Chapter 3 that we could just continue on. We've had disasters, but we've had comebacks, and we've been really good. I feel like I just need a bit of consistency from players where they play in a lot of World Cups, not just like playing one and then don't play in one for about 5 years and then come back and do it. I feel like that's not going to help. I feel like we need to see Ashley Young next tournament. I feel like we need to see the best of Bama, the best of Alexei, the best of Rayan. You know, we want to see DC, we want to see competitive new players getting involved, getting in that game, not raging. Just never good enough in theory. They're all top players and they know it. So I just need to see a little bit more there. I do need to see a little bit more there. I feel like Alexei Baumann, they've just given up on the World Cups. Like, I'm not talking about, well, they're probably going to have to quit them eventually, but I don't think either any of the players are just as passionate as some of them. I thought the reason DC got to the final is the exact reason. You know, he wanted it more than Alexei and Baumann did. Whether you can say, well, the ref was biased or not. Well, for a start, I don't think there can be a 5-1 goal difference or a 4-0 goal difference if the ref's biased when you're playing as world-class players. I've not disallowed no goals. You know, you've lost, get over it. DC had the right mindset going into the World Cup, he trained hard. Baumann got cocky, didn't train, got absolute battered. And I think, you know, predictable. I said it before the World Cup, that had a 50-50 chance of happening. You know, he's normally a solid World Cup player that normally doesn't often put a foot wrong. But, you know, both him and Alexei slipped up against DC, didn't know what they were playing against. To be fair, both of them did get unlucky at times with their shots. I just thought there was something about DC that just made them look average. Did against me as well. It's just the way he just slows the game down, and you don't seem to get much luck against him when you're taking his shots, and I think that's quite funny. As like, the three main players all struggled to get lots past him. I think in the end, once watching him play, I think I knew what to do. But in the end, you know, he slows that game down and really just plays well. He just plays well. He doesn't really need to. He doesn't really. Even if he has an off game, I reckon he could really like. It gets him from the game, and I think that's what you have to be to do. You know, to be a good a player as he is. But you know, is he the best player he can be? I'm sure there's more to come from him. I'm almost certain of it because he's a top player. He really is a top player. I can come in like Villa on tour could be. I mean, seems to have disappeared every now and then, but it's a new World Cup. It's a new beginning. It's just about time, isn't it? I feel like new World Cup players, new games, new opposition. We could be set for some good World Cups. But yeah, so we'll get more onto what's going to happen in Chapter 4. So let's go on with the issues in Chapter 3 then that probably stopped us from doing even more World Cups. And probably what made them a little bit chaotic, so I'll have my say on them all. And I don't think we need to go into the manner of speaking of saying, well, this person did this. It was chaotic. It was an absolute mess, and whatever happened is still in the process of being sorted in theory. Obviously, you know, I'm not fully convinced it's all over yet. I still feel like there's another twist and turn to come. You know, there always is when it comes down with us, but you know, we're fine with what the current situation is. We feel that, you know, it will probably never be a massive part, if ever, a part of this community again. You know, I think things have just completely and utterly, like, it's just not gone the way we probably would have hoped. And, you know, it could have been a lot easier, and we could have really, you know, maybe, like, just had a nice time trying to play really well. You know, we tried to fix things, but it just never worked. So again, there's no real problems at the moment, and I don't feel that will affect the World Cup at the minute. But you know, it's in war. It could change within 5 seconds. You know, 1 minute you could be, you know, chill, and then the next minute you can do something, and then it could all go wrong. But either way, I think the players need to get over it now. I mean, if they don't, they don't, but you know what I mean. It's never like we're gonna run out of ideas in World Cups. You know, we might get a bit stuck every now and then, but we'll just find something creative, and I think the IO guys were very creative in the end. I thought most of the World Cups were pretty decent, and the Jonesies in definitely made an impact, and the IO guys definitely caused an impact. So what's set for World Cup 4? For chapter 4. Name change has been possibly reviewed, restarting it from 1 again. In theory, we're just looking at being more creative. I'm not gonna lie, Create 2.0 is gonna play a massive part, and rumours are it's coming out in January. Probably going to be a new World Cup there. That's probably where there'll be the new beginning. Obviously, I don't know how long it'll take for me to get the hang of Create 2.0, but however long it in theory takes, it will take. And I hope I can get used to it, and just we can just do World Cups in there, and you know, you can pretty much do everything in Create 2.0. Look, you know, we don't know where it stands, and at the minute I don't have a lot of creative things to do. Right, no, the only thing left is to ride animals. For chapter 4 World Cups, probably it's touch and go. I think it's definitely achievable, and definitely with a new chapter comes a lot of new players, so a lot of new opportunities there. Overall, compared to the chapter 3 ones, I don't really know what the difference will be. As I say, Create 2.0, that's going to play a massive part, and I feel like if that's coming out in January, we're probably not going to do a World Cup in January. We're probably just going to chill for a month, which gives me time to adapt to it. And yeah, I'm half expecting Create 2.0 to be really hard to do World Cups in, if impossible. You know, it's difficult. There's a lot of new things that are coming. We don't know if they're good or bad. With chapter 4, you know, I don't think we're going to be doing 8 World Cups a year. I think we'll probably limit it down to 3 at this rate, because, you know, the sky was the limit back in the day. Like last year, it's all grey and everything. This is just now, you know, are you really excited to come on and try and do a World Cup? Whereas last year it was, right, I'm really excited to do the World Cup, not try, do. I think that's got to be a change. It's not negotiable. It's got to be a change. We've got to make the players interested again. However hard it may be, we're gonna have to try to do something. Lots of changes are expected to come now. There are talks of a Rocket League World Cup. I think that is going to be confirmed. In the next coming hours, which, you know, will be exciting to find out if we are doing it or not, but I'm sort of undecided yet, but we definitely have to work off the ball to sort of work out to stop the players raging. I think that needs to change in chapter 4. But I'm really looking forward to the challenge once again, and once again I think these World Cups will be really successful, because, you know, they will be hard, but I reckon we can change it. And if we decide not to do World Cups anymore and do something else, that's great. Change maybe is what is needed, but, you know, I think it's over now. Like, don't get over it. It's chapter 3 is done now, isn't it? It was finished pretty much like since this chapter begun. It's just finished. I think its time is up. I don't really understand the season only having 4 seasons. I don't think this chapter is what people hoped. I don't like it particularly. Again, Ninja might be coming back to chapter 4, and he's obviously coming to watch the live event. I just want him to come back. I'm not talking about World Cups, because I don't think that'd be his thing anymore. I just want certain players to just sort of come back now. You know, I used to do this with him. Now I'm stuck doing 2v2 on Rocket League, and, you know, I don't want to get into sort of playing a lot of Rocket League, because I don't think Rocket League could be as okay what we've done as this, but, you know, I want to touch on as well what Ninja has already said as well about, you know, random players sort of thing. I want to touch on that because I feel like he's got a point, but he couldn't be more wrong with the outcomes at times, because I feel like he judges the community and, you know, sort of forces me into not getting the new sort of players in. And you know, he's right, he's absolutely right, but at the same time, this community wouldn't be here without them. And yes, there's certain players that have not, you know, caused problems, but where would this community be without it? No, we couldn't do a roleplay without certain players, and I know most of you weren't in 2020, but nowadays I feel like they're just more than the community. And I can hear Ninja always making sulky comments, and I just think, yeah, but who actually will do these World Cups? You know, he blames me for the way the community's gone, you know, but I would like him to name 8 players that I know that would actually do it. I'd absolutely love him to name 8 players, because I can barely name 2. Let alone 8, and you can't just have 8 on a World Cup. Like, you've got to have backups and everything, and I just feel like sometimes you're a bit harsh with that, and he's right at times with, yeah, but, you know, you don't know the real players, and, you know, it could be anyone, blah blah blah. Yeah, there's always that risk, and it's a risk, you know, I was willing to take for the community, and I feel like he just needs to, you know, maybe get over the fact that our community's just, you know, he's not really worked at his community for a while. He does put in a lot of effort, but I feel like he's got a challenge to do to rebuild his. And I feel like at times, don't judge mine. Everyone can take to their opinion. I just feel like he takes his way too far with some of the outrageous things, you know, like I say, the sucker comments. Oh, he's playing this place, I don't even know. I know. But it's all for a good sort of World Cup cause. It's not exactly like it's absolutely outrageous. Which is some people just trying to have a good World Cup experience, and I just feel like, you know, in Wars touched on this, and we're making points, but they're not making points. So what you're saying is right. So you can't get around the players in, but you can't rely on the real players either. So basically, don't do anything for your community. It's caused problems, but so did the real players. I think there has been a lot of hiccups, but we knew that would happen more than most communities. But we stuck with it. We worked hard and we did what we needed to do. No doubt about that. Absolutely no doubt about it. We worked hard and we got through it. But the problem in the end of the day was, you know, in war, obviously trying to get players to turn, that was just absolutely tore this community apart. All nightmare and killer thing, and the question that has been asked a couple of times is, you know, Ninja doesn't get any on with any of the community players at all. Is that an issue? Definitely something that's not good. That probably does worry me more than most things. I feel like we need to just get that sorted. I think we need to get him to just, you know, stop forcing me to choose him over other players. We saw where that got us last time. I don't want to have to choose players. No one does. But, you know, when you're making it as difficult as he is, of course I want to help both players, but, you know, it's sort of difficult as well. You know, these players were there when you decided that you didn't really want to be around, so why should I just get rid of them for you? It's difficult, and I don't think he quite understands that. Maybe he will in a while, like, he will just realise. I feel like he's making his point. But the problem is, the players aren't really the problem. It's the fact, if you don't get any of those players, we've had issues with Broken, Ryan, Badman, Alex 8. It's relentless. Absolutely, it's relentless. I can't really think of one player who really gets on with. That's fine, just don't make it, you know, that's what made the community a horrible place to be in at times. Not me, not the players themselves, it's just those sorts of things, you know, arguing with the players and then everyone else having to get involved with it. It's blooming relentless. And I feel sorry for the players as well, I feel sorry for Ninja. But then at the end of the day, it's me that mostly has to sort it. Losing World Cup players, and, you know, Ninja saying, oh well, you can't choose him because blah blah blah, you have to choose me because blah blah blah. So yeah, I think the shots for World Cups have been a shambles. But I'm looking forward to the future challenge. And that will be all for now. So make sure we're ready for World Cup Chapter 4, and we'll probably not be around till about 8 days time during the live event, so I'm certainly looking forward to that. but new beginnings are among us. Birdman's cookies have been chomped this evening. Lisa has shelter this evening, but we are all done for this evening. So, that is the history of the Chapter 3 World Cups. And